Good evening, sports fans from all around the globe. I am your host, Jeff Dawson, East Coast Sports Investors, and this is your closing bell for Friday, April 29th, 2022. The weekend is here. Wow, what a 20 minutes with Mr. Craig Mish. He gave us at ECSI at the Marlins game. Man, I was jealous there. Gave us the inside scoop on where they are, where he expects them to be, potential closer or closers in waiting. Big start today for Mr. Hernandez, I'm sorry. Maybe today or one more start is someone is creeping up and just lights out in the AAA, waiting to get his start there. But great to have him. We will be having him throughout the season for some updates live with the Marlins. The NBA and the favorites are just rolling. I don't know what else to say, guys. Take the favorites, wait at the window, and cash. It doesn't matter if they're down 20, down 15, down 10. They're just finding ways to win. And we have a game 6, Memphis at Minnesota. The same blueprints as the last three. 2-point favorites now 1.5. I'll talk about that and the full MLB slate. Was chatting on the Discord channel this afternoon, and someone asked a great question. They're talking about, free bets, parlays, and of course, any book that gives you a $50 bet, they want to see you do a 5, 10, 15-legged parlay because the odds of cashing aren't none. And why would you bet a free $50 bet only to get 50 or 45 back? And secondly, and a lot of people don't understand exactly what we do here at ECSI. We're your stockbroker, but we're in a sports broker form, meaning a stockbroker watches the market and the numbers 24/7. Well, that's what I do. That's what we do here at East Coast Sports Investors. So we follow up to 50 sports books all around the world, the Vegas Strip, all the big online ones. And why would we release a game at 10 a.m. when the first pitch maybe is at 7:10? So that's in 9 hours, and a lot of things can happen. A line can steam one way or the other. Now, I'm not condoning anyone that wakes up in the morning, sees a number, loves the number, and they think it's going to go up. Well, buy it, grab it. I'm not condoning that, but perfect example is in the Angels game against the White Sox. It was a great pitchers matchup with Syndergaard versus Giolito. There was some great value on the Angels, grabbing some We are back. OMG, we lost power. We lost power. Guys, apologies for the blank screen. We lost power. Boom. And it's sunny out. Only on Cape Cod, guys. Only on Cape Cod. Let's bring him in. The one and only Mr. Scott T. Webb.
Hey, Jeff, sounds like we need to put one of the shields up over there.
You know, I guess I'm glad it happened then versus, Craig would have came on and he would have been like, what the hell is going on? Literally, my two screens, one with Don Best, one with Wager Talk, went black, but we were still going on. And then they came back on. And then they went black. Next thing you know, my two lights go out, and the rest is history. How are you today, Scotty?
I am good, man. Look, they can't stop us. They can try to keep us from doing these shows and keep us from talking to people. It ain't going to happen. We're going to fight through it all.
Listen, a couple days, and it's May 1st. Craig talked about the balls. No one's hitting. And he even talked about it, too. The fact that they're 10-8. A lot has to do with the fact that they're winning the 1-0s, the 2-1s, the 3-2s, because the offenses have not been clicking.
Yeah, I meant to pull that up. I got to find my mouse and all my stuff over here because I wanted to see where we are with that. We've been tracking that a little bit, and Major League Baseball batting average is 231. So it's not moving up. It's not moving down. We have 4,889 strikeouts so far and 4,351 hits. We have more strikeouts than we do hits. Home runs are down. But that doesn't mean it's going to stay that way. And we're still real early. And I think you're going to – well, I've been talking about it for a long time now. Baseball's starting to creep up there with the hits. Now, I will tell you, it's getting ridiculous to how poor they're playing on defense. I think Baltimore had 4 or 5 errors yesterday. I think the Tigers have had back-to-back bad games with 2-3 errors, and of course throwing a ball in the left field, letting runners score like at will. Bad news bear stuff. So I think we're seeing not so good baseball from some teams. And if you can identify those teams, they're really good teams to bet against.
Well, we're going to get 6:35 first pitch in the San Diego-Pittsburgh game. So we're not going to be able to go into that one. But I'm going to bring the board up. It's payday. People are chomping at the bit. They want to run to the window. They want to double their paycheck. They want to do whatever it takes to get a little flash cash. I've been staring at this board for 18 hours, Scott. The ECSI VIPs got 2 games today. This is listen, usually I wake up, I see 1 or 2 things that really stick out. I have been combing through this at will, looking for stuff. It's a tough board out there. I don't know what you see.
Well, I've got a couple of angles to play today. And I'm going to just jump on the first one, right? Just because the game gives us 640. I'm going to be I'm going to take Seattle today against Miami today. I get Brash at plus 100. The idea here is 2 things. Number one, it's not so much about Hernandez. Now, Hernandez is a guy who's trying to stay in his rotation spot, which I don't think he's going to be able to handle at least all year. There's guys coming, and there's another guy on the DL. I don't know if he was able to answer anything about Sixto Sanchez or not, but
he says
guys coming.
He says not expecting anything this year from him.
So I mean, we got talent coming in Miami. They got a bunch of guys that can pitch in the minor leagues. I mean, that's what they got. They got guys that can pitch. They don't got anybody that can hit. Those guys are already up there for the most part. So I took Seattle. I took Brash. Now the reason is 2 things. One, Seattle has the number 3 offense in baseball, so they can hit. And then number 2, the Miami Marlins are number 26 in the bullpen. So even if it's a close game after 5 innings, 6 innings, whatever, I still think that you're going to be able to get runs from Seattle and be able to knock up their bullpen. And you're getting them at basically a pick 'em plus price, plus 100. So I wanted to get that out there right away in case people wanted to jump in on their app and take that one. But that was the one play that I have now. I'm playing what I call the carryover theory, and these are teams that they lost their home series. So the last home series they lost, and then now they have to go on the road, and this is the first away game on the road, and typically the performance carries over. So we have two teams in that ballpark today. They only win 39% of the games, by the way, the first game. And that's charted over the last 2 years. So you have Cincinnati's in that spot, and the other team is the Washington Nationals are in that spot. So now you got to figure out, okay, we got to bet against Cincinnati. So that means we got to play on Colorado. So Cincinnati is minus 120 at home. I'm okay with that. I looked up some numbers and put them on the Discord channel here just a minute ago. Mr. Green is pitching for Cincinnati tonight, and that's a scary name because he throws 100 miles an hour. He didn't throw 100 miles an hour the last time out. He threw 96 miles an hour last time out. That's 4 miles an hour off. He has yet to have a big game score game. He's throwing, his average is in the 40s. Okay, well that's not even an average pitcher right now. So Cincinnati is a wily veteran. He's a good guy. He's a tough guy to hit. And I like the idea that you're going to get some value here with Colorado at home against a team that keeps losing games and can't score runs. So I like Colorado minus the 120. I wish it was more 110. It was, I think it was 110 or 115 earlier in the day, but I'm okay with where it's at. So I played Colorado in that game. And then the other game that fits that angle is San Francisco. We got to figure out how do we play on San Francisco today. And that's going to be a tough one because they're like minus 5 million against the Nationals. And you got Alex Wood today. And the way I looked at this game was you can do this two ways, right? So if you go in and you look at the first 5, and I like what DraftKings does now, they get that -1. So if you do the -1 in the first 5, it is minus 105. Okay. So I'm looking at it and going, well, what is it for a -1.5? It's minus 108. Okay, well, give me the whole other innings to come back there. And I'm not worried about the San Francisco bullpen giving up a bunch of runs. So I took them minus 1.5 in the full game to beat the Nationals today to fit that other mold. There was only 2 teams in that spot today. And then the last game I played is I like teams that have already played each other before. And this is the Mets and the Phillies. They've already played each other. And in the game that the Mets played against the Phillies, Nola didn't have a good game. He pitched 3 innings, gave up 3 runs, gave up 3. I don't know how many he gave up, but he only made it 3 innings. He didn't pitch well. And normally he handles the Mets offense pretty well. I mean, he's got I think a batting average against him was like 133 or something. Other players are 180. It's under 200. So I like the idea that Philadelphia has been played pretty well. They just beat up Colorado, so now they're going to go play the Mets. They got a little chip on their shoulder. They want to go there and show them up. So I like the idea that you can get Nola to pitch a good game. I still want to stay away from the Philadelphia bullpen. So I took Nola plus 100 on the money line in the first 5 innings. So those were my 4 plays today, Jeff. I got Colorado, Cincinnati, San Francisco Wood minus 1.5. I got Seattle Brash plus 100, and Philadelphia Nola plus 100 in the first 5 innings.
I like where your eyes are. I talked about it the last few days. That anyone want to listen, I will repeat it. Teams that are overnight favorites and that are now underdogs or even have been winning at about a 70, 72, 73% clip. Seattle hits that mold today. I left them on the desk. I felt a little guilty knowing that I'd be talking to Craig Mish at the Marlins game there. So I saw that one. That is on the desk for us. You did hit home with the Phillies and the Mets today. I saw exactly what you saw there. I'm going to jump to the NBA first. As I said before, we lost power. I guess it was a pretty bad accident down the road from us. Prayers out to the people in that car there. Memphis and Minnesota, this is the same blueprint as the favorites have just been running in. I said if, because ECSI VIPs know we have not tap danced or danced in the first round. We're waiting for the second round. But I would definitely lean Minnesota here. Buy the hook, get them +2, take them on the money line, first half, whatever you got to do. Since when is there a first round where there's no game 7? This is a perfect setup where the NBA gets a game 7 on Sunday afternoon prior to the Celtics tipping off at 1:00. So if you need an angle, and I'm not an angle guy, but I think they force a game 7 in Memphis. Ja Morant will be live around 3:30 for your entertainment. I'm assuming it will be a game 7. The NBA always finds a way to get a game 7. MLB. San Diego's already started again. I tried to look into getting into them in the first 5. Darvish has had some great starts. He's had a clunker on the road. I stayed away. I, too, with the Phillies, love Nola first 5. Stay away from that bullpen. Against the Mets team that right now is 14-6, leading baseball with wins. McGill's been pitching great, but I like the edge when you can get Nola first 5 at even money. You jump on that. You know something? This Chicago-Milwaukee game, I think, is a trap. I have flashbacks of Hendricks going to Milwaukee and pitching 8 or 9 scoreless, no-hit innings in my brain not too long ago. I lean Cubbies here. I think they find a way to get it done. I did not take them, but I think there's some good value with Hendricks, +125, full game there. Arizona, St. Louis, again, if you wanted to get tricky, you could grab Wainwright minus the hook, first 5. I don't like the fact that opened up at 165 and was steamed to 190 at circa. Try to stay away from the steam when I can there. Cincinnati, Colorado, which green are you going to get? He definitely had a clunker last time. This team, it's called Cincinnati right now, is 3-16. The only thing that scares me is Colorado's 10-9, and yet they're only -113 or 115. It's like Vegas is just baiting you, saying since he's going to come and start to win a few games, I stayed off of that. The question I have for you, Scott, on the next game is, wasn't this the same exact matchup that we talked about last Saturday in Washington and San Fran? You talked about Sanchez, and I think Wood went there, and I thought that they rolled them. Am I correct?
On 423, yes, they played, and Wood pitched 5 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, and Sanchez
gave up 5, didn't he?
He pitched 4 innings, gave up 6 hits and 4 runs. So, I mean, it wasn't terrible. But I just think that this is the way you get into this game. And I think that, if you're going to battle with San Francisco, I'm okay with, this is back-to-back starts. He threw a game score of 55, Wood. So theoretically, his game score average over his last 7 is 57. So that's about an average start for him. So that means he didn't do well and he didn't do poor. And he did his average start. And if you look at Sanchez, he hadn't been really starting many games, but his game score over the last 7 starts was 49. And he threw a 35 that day. So he threw worse than that. So even if he throws better than that and throws an average game, his average game's a 50. So that's an average start. So that's still giving up 2-3 runs over 5-6 innings. And if he does that, I'm good with San Francisco. If he gives up 2-3 runs, I think it's going to be hard for them to battle against both the bullpen. So I still like San Francisco in the game.
Sox at Baltimore, Hill versus Bradish. I don't know much about Bradish at all. I'm not a big fan of Hill. The Sox still aren't hitting. They usually get to Camden Yards and wake up. Again, yesterday, a tough loss. The day before they scored 7. But now I think this Baltimore pitching should look like beach balls. I stayed away. I saw the line opened at 145, now down to 120. I don't really believe in this false movement there. I would lean Red Sox, but again, I'm staying away. Let them get a couple games under their belt. Houston,
So,
Toronto.
you want information on Bradish?
Sure.
So Bradish, so far this year, he's made 3 starts in the minor leagues, pitched 15 innings. In those 15 innings, he has 17 strikeouts. So that's pretty good. Now, again, that's AAA. He's given up 8 hits, so that's really good. And he's only given up 2 earned runs. He gave up 4 runs. So he's been good. He was a 4th-round pick in the 2018 draft. But he's not necessarily one of these guys that I think you're going to go out and see amazing things from. This will be his major league debut. So he doesn't have, I don't have any velocity type numbers, but I guarantee if he's got 17 strikeouts in 15 innings, he's got some heat. But I would tell you that the better way to go here, I think, is I like Boston.
I do too. Houston, Toronto, great game. Great series. It's going to be Aquidi versus Kukuc. Kukuc hasn't been, I guess he's been what I think I expected. He moves into Toronto. You're able to get him as the number 4 or 5 starter. He's an innings eater. I like the spot here for Toronto. I like it in the first 5. I think that they can pull out the game. Let me just double check one thing here. 1 second. You can get Kukuc at about a -114 in the first 5. I liked that spot today. If you were getting froggy, you could get them -0.5 run plus 115. But in a first 5 setting, I think you got a better shot. In case of the push, the money line was short enough. There was about a 14-cent move at circa on this first 5, which is usually a go for us. And so we're going to go on that one. Minnesota, Tampa, Bundy versus Kluber. Bundy just keeps on rolling. Kluber got his boobs lit up against the Red Sox his last start. I would say the Scotty Webb assumption is we're due for some regression with Bundy, and you should get in a lot better start with Kluber tonight.
No question. Kluber, because you got to remember, Kluber was a Guardian, so that means he's pitched against Minnesota millions of times. His last 5 starts against them, he's got a game score 61. He's thrown 33 innings, well, 32 and 2/3. So let's just say 33 innings. He's only give up 23 hits in those 33 innings. He only gave up 11 earned runs. He's got 34 strikeouts. So he handles that team really well. And Bundy has pitched against Tampa Bay when he was with Baltimore. Now that's a little bit a while ago, so I don't know how that really foils over, because he's not the same pitcher he was then. He was a big flamethrower when he was in Baltimore. Now he can't throw hard at all. So I would tell you he's got 1, 2, 3 game scores over 60. So he's going to get smashed. And he doesn't do good against Tampa Bay. His record in those 1, 2, 3, 4 last 5 starts against Tampa Bay, now it's 2019. 7.25 earned run average, 22 innings, 26 hits, 18 earned runs. It's not very good.
And I left it on the decks because the Twins are rolling. I think they've won 6 or 7 in a row. I left it on that desk for a reason. I do lean Kluber here. I think the Rays get it done. And if they do, I would look for them probably to at least take 2 out of 3 in this series. We'll see what the matchup is, obviously, on Saturday.
Yeah, that brings up a good point too. You know, you want to bet on streaks. Don't pretend like they're going to end tonight, because they may not. They could go on for 3 or 4 more games before they end.
Exactly. So I stay away from the streaks. Rotation number 969, 970. What was going to be a good pitching matchup of Syndergaard versus Giolito now is Herget versus Giolito. I don't know why Syndergaard was scratched. I do know, though, that since he was scratched, the White Sox have gone from -125 to -153. As you know, I'm still salty about the White Sox, so you can beat the Angels to a pulp if you want. I don't give a rat's ass.
He's sick. He got a flu.
Okay. So,
Syndergaard.
as we know, the Angels are not long in the bullpen, so they're praying this kid can get them 3 or 4. Otherwise, one game can really turn over a series if you got to go to the bullpen early. So maybe this is what the doctor ordered for the White Sox so they can get their offense rolling there. Yankees and Kansas City. Listen, guys. Cortez versus Bubik, whatever you want to call him. Everyone in the world knows the Yankees go to Kansas City and destroy them. You could go in there, take Cortez minus the half run, first 5. I think it was like minus 140, 145. Good luck. I cannot give up that kind of juice. Do I expect the Yankees to win? Yeah, I do. Do I expect them to win by more than 1 or 2? Yeah, I do. But just not with my money today. That's all. Cleveland, Oakland, Savali versus Montas. I was looking to get into the first 5 here with Oakland, Scott. I thought that there was good value. I just backed away. Any thoughts on Savali versus Montas?
Oh, I like Montas a lot. I just don't like the number.
Same here.
Montas is by far the better pitcher. Savali's just hanging on for dear life, to be honest. Montas hasn't had one of those setback games yet this year either. So, this will be his 1-2. This is going to be Montas' 5th start. Most of these guys are making their 4th start. This is his 5th start. So he's got 4 or 3. I'm sorry, 1, 2, 3. No, this is his 4th start, not 5th start. So he's been really good. His first start against 1, 2, 3, 4. This will be number 5. His first start against Philadelphia, he didn't do that great, but he beat up Tampa Bay, beat up Baltimore, beat up Texas. Okay, so what's that saying? Now he's got a chance to beat up Cleveland. He could do that, but I don't know. I didn't like the number.
I agree there. Atlanta, Texas. Listen, on paper, I think Atlanta comes into Texas and just steamrolls them. Acuna's back. Mr. Richards, what's he going to be throwing? The Frisbees there? Listen, I dealt with him all last year. The guy is he's out there. And listen, he couldn't, when Spider Tech came crawling, he couldn't throw 2 innings, and Cora left him out there to say, hey, you're not killing my bullpen, kid. Figure it out. And he did actually start to figure it out. And so I'm not getting in there. The number opened at 145, now down to 123. I know they're baiting you to grab Atlanta here. I just backed away, Scott.
Garrett Richards is an opener. He's going to throw 2 innings. And Spencer Howard is going to be the bulk guy. So he's going to go, 5-6 innings.
Is that the guy he used to pitch for the Phillies? Yes,
that's the guy. But he hasn't found his way yet with Texas either. So it's an interesting matchup. It's an interesting game. Richards and Howard have both been seen many times, not like Nola and the Mets, but been seen many times by the lineup for the Braves because they both pitched in the National League. And Richards has been around forever. So these guys, it's not going to be any surprise to the Braves what these guys are going to see. It might be more of a surprise to what Texas is going to see from Anderson because he's a young kid. They haven't seen him. Corey Seager's probably seen him, but that's about it. So there's not a whole lot of at-bats there. I like the edge to go to Atlanta here, but, these opener situations either work or they don't. You need the right guy to open. And if he doesn't get outs, he did this earlier. He on the 24th, he opened against Oakland. He threw 2 innings. He gave up 2 hits. He had 1 walk, 1 strikeout. Now, I will tell you that all was in 1 inning, and he almost lost a whole bunch of runs in that 1 inning. He got out of it, but they were all jammed up in that 1 inning, and he got out of it, and then they turned it over to Howard. So this is one of those handicaps where you're either going to go, all right, am I going to go? And this we talked about this the other day. We should never bet against the Texas Rangers on a first 5. Always bet them full game. They are the terrible bullpen. So if you might need those runs. So don't be betting these guys against these guys on first 5 innings. You're shooting yourself in the foot. So you want those extra 4 innings to go beat up that bullpen.
The last game, again, there'll be 1 million tickets on Vegas in the casinos with the Dodgers first 5 minus a hook, Dodgers minus a run and a half. They opened at 245, now 230. They're just a juggernaut. We know that they win by 2. Again, if you play minus 245 and minus 220 and minus 200 all year against the Dodgers, I can guarantee you most likely at the end of the year, you'll be even maybe up a unit or 2 or down a ton. It's just long-term, you're not going to win. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not telling you they're not going to win by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a touchdown. I'm just saying on paper, this looks like a boat race. It's just not getting any of my money today. Hockey, last couple of days of the season, couple flips that I just wanted to talk about here. The Bruins opened up plus 100. Okay, this one came back down to earth. There's been some crazy stuff going on in this one. Toronto opened up minus 120, and early this afternoon, the Bruins were minus 125. This game has supposedly a lot in the seedings. I'm going to stay away now. I thought there was a big flip on that one. I'm going to stay away there. Here's the other game I was talking about. Colorado opened up at 130. Now Minnesota 130. So keep an eye on the Wild there. Vegas seems to think that the Avs might mail this one in. And other than that, nothing jumping off the page. We will have some hockey playoffs starting next week. Calgary opened up at 180, now minus 130 against the Jets. The Jets were real good to us on Sunday. We won't dive back in there. Edmonton opens up minus 195 against Vancouver, now only minus 127. If you're feeling froggy, you can grab the Canucks plus the 116 there. So, Scotty, closing thoughts, my brother.
Hey, there's in that Atlanta-Texas game, official lineups out for Atlanta. There is no Acuna tonight. He is not playing after his first game back. So if you were planning on playing with him in the lineup tonight, that's not going to happen tonight for that particular game. And then it looks like most of the other guys, like Miguel Cabrera sat yesterday. He's back in the lineup today. So most of the guys that were rested yesterday are back in there now. Acuna is not playing. Yelich didn't play yesterday, although he came in and had a pinch hit, base hit. He's going. And in Houston, they made that Houston lineup. They made a flip flops here. Houston is where'd they go? Come on. There. So they've been batting different guys all over the place because Altuve's not there. So now they got McCormick as a leadoff hitter playing left field. Jeremy Pena, the shortstop's going to bat second. And then you have Bregman, Alvarez, Gurriel, Tucker, and then, they got Dalmias Diaz, Jose Siri, and Maldonado. So this is not the greatest offense they put out there. So they got some issues. What's his name's not playing? The other left-handed hitter, Brantley. Brantley's not in the lineup tonight.
And I'll just say this, even because I own him on fantasy. We had a choice of sitting a month out with Acuna or taking Tucker. We took Tucker, and we had a free month with Tucker, and I think I wouldn't mind
another pinch hit home run.
Can I take that Acuna instead of Tucker now? But my point was, if Tucker was doing anything, he'd be leading off right now instead of McCormick. He was batting 88 and he got himself up to about 160, and now he's back down there. And listen, guys, I'm going to close right here with this. Anyone that wasn't watching or listening or following social media today, Trevor Bauer, 2-year suspension. And I talked to a couple colleagues about this, and if I say something that kind of sort of offends anyone, I apologize. Okay, it's a serious matter what happened. And listen, I know everyone's going to yell and scream and holler. He has not been proven guilty of any of this. Okay. So MLB dragged their feet all last year with this, and then they didn't come up with any conclusions. Then Bauer's attorney goes after him. Then they can't get this, they can't get that. And I'm not trying to be an attorney here. Okay. The season starts, and the MLB still dragged their feet. And it was almost like, okay, they don't know what to do. Okay. I brought up 3 cases. I brought up Ray Lewis, and we all know the truth about that. Oh, yeah, I'm not saying again, I'm not the judge of the jury. Okay. We brought up Michael Vick, who did his time in jail, and then he was still able to play in the NFL. And then I brought up Ray Rice. Ray Rice was caught on tape, and he never played another down. I think this is just my 2 cents here. The MLB wants no part of this. And what I'm hearing through some good groups is that I said, well, a 60-game suspension. Well, they said, Jeff, it would have been a 60-game suspension until he starts attacking the MLB. So then they said, the hell with it, and we'll give you a 2-year suspension, and just they kind of shoveling it under the rug, Scott. I'm hearing there's a lot more behind this that we don't know. How's that sound?
Well, 2 years, that's not inclusive of the time he's already missed. So this
Because
is 2
he got
years from
paid.
today.
He got paid. So someone brought up in our Discord is it retroactive? And I says, well, if it was ever retroactive, he'd have to give up last year's salary because he got paid, and he's gotten paid for the first month. So it's 2 years. My 2 cents on it. They're going to fight the MLB now. You can't do this, whatever. He's never going to pitch in the MLB again.
Probably not. I think that at this point, it's pretty obvious. I mean, he's already missed 2 years, right? I mean, theoretically, for the most part, and he's going to miss 2 more years. That's 4 years. You're not going to come back from. You're not. He might as well go sign in career somewhere, or go play in Japan, or he's all into all that kind of stuff. So maybe he will. I don't know. Man, I don't know. Who knows? But I don't know. I think it's interesting what people can get away with, what they can't get away with, and what legalities are involved, because this will get challenged. This will get challenged probably to the highest level, as my guess, because this is a guy who's never been convicted of anything that now can't pitch for 2 years. So, and I don't mean one way or the other. It's not that I don't care. I care because I'm not one of those guys that sit here and go, okay, he did this, he didn't do that. It's not me. It's not for me to judge. I'm not that guy. And I don't know the behind the scenes and all the stuff like you were saying. There's probably a lot of different things going on back there. But I will say that he's a lightning rod, has been a lightning rod. Major League Baseball, I think, would prefer him to be under control. And one of the ways to control him is this way. And the other problem here is, what if they reinstate him and they suspend him for, I don't know, say 4 weeks or whatever. I don't know, I'm just making up numbers. Then what do the Dodgers have to do? Do the Dodgers have to keep him? They don't want him. They don't want him to pitch for them. But if he's under contract, so what did Major League Baseball do? Major League Baseball just gave the Dodgers an out. The Dodgers got nothing to do with it anymore. So they can go sign whoever they want, get rid of him, and do what he's done. So I think you're never going to see Trevor Bauer in a Major League Baseball diamond on the mound throwing pitches. He may try to do something else, but he ain't going to be doing that.
The weekend's here, guys. Let's have some fun today. Let's have some fun tonight. The last couple of days of April, let's finish strong. The calendar changes to May on Sunday. Some scheduling, myself and Scotty. Tomorrow we'll be here. We're not sure what time. The first baseball game doesn't go till 12:25. You said 12:40, something like that.
Well, they got some kind of thing going on now on Sundays where they're going to start games at 12:30 with national broadcasts going to Peacock Channel or something. And tomorrow I think the first game is at 2 o'clock tomorrow, so it's 2:15. And then it doesn't look like the first Sunday games are starting at 12:30 yet. So we got the first Sunday game is at 1 o'clock.
All
But
right,
tomorrow, 2:15.
All right, so tomorrow we might not be here bright and early, but we'll make sure we have some kind of show to get you guys set up for the baseball schedule. We'll take a peek at the NBA. We'll take a peek at the NHL. And then on Sunday, I might be at the Celtics game. I'm not sure yet. If I am, I don't know if we'll have a show in the morning. But going forward next week, we will make sure that we have either myself and Scott for the Breakfast Bankroll or myself and Riley for the Breakfast Bankroll. So we'll have you guys covered in the morning and any of our guests in the afternoon, and then obviously a closing bell. So we can't thank you guys enough here. Apologies again for the power surge and internet for the few hours of darkness, but we survived. And have some fun. Cash some tickets. And always remember this: if you are wagering tonight or investing, please do it responsibly. If you have a problem, pick up the phone. There's an 800 number available. Ask for help. Why? Myself and Scotty care. We'd like to see you here today, tomorrow, next week, next month through 2022 and beyond. From myself, Jeff Dawson at EC Sports Invest, from Scotty Webb at Webby20MLB, we wish everyone a blessed evening. The weekend's here. Have some fun. And we'll see you at some time tomorrow.